Ever wondered which flowers are the easiest to grow and dry beautifully? Stick around to discover my top 5 cut flowers that every flower gardener should grow in their garden if they're thinking about drying some flowers for all year round use. Hi, I'm Nicola from Bramble and Beyond, and we celebrate seasonal gardening and beautiful dried flower arrangements on this channel. Today I'll be sharing my top 5 easy to grow flowers for drying. Dried flowers have an enduring charm, but not all blooms are created equally. You can dry pretty much any flower that you choose, but it doesn't mean to say that it is going to dry beautifully. So in this video, I'll guide you through my fail-proof options for growing and drying this season. I'll explain why they're perfect and how to grow them and dry them for their best results. Choosing the right flowers for drying can feel overwhelming, especially if you're new to it. If you're new to growing. Growing flowers in general might seem overwhelming, so adding in that extra layer of will they also dry could be a little bit too much to think about. You know, you're thinking about things like, will they hold their colour? Are they easy to grow? Are they easy to dry? How do I dry them properly? The good news is, with the right varieties and tips on how to do it, anyone can grow flowers for drying and can create beautiful, long-lasting displays. So let's dive into my top 5 picks in reverse order. At number 5, I'm starting with statice. Now, statice is a classic dried flower. I think if anybody talks about dried flowers, this is what they think about. However, statice or limonium is a powerhouse for dried arrangements. You can tell it's sturdy. It retains the colour of the fresh bloom. So this colour that you're seeing here, the purples and the peaches, were exactly the colour they were when they were growing. Nothing has changed. And they're virtually dry as soon as you pick them. So they are brilliant as a starter. They take no drying at all, really. So you can group them in as big a bunch as you want. I mean, normally we sort of say 10 stems, but you can use as big a bunch as you want with statice. Nothing phases them. They are a good go-to. For very few plants, it produces a lot of flowers. So I only had maybe 12 plants this year, and I've got so many flowers that I don't know what to do with. I think it can keep me going in statice for the next 2 or 3 years. So much. So it's productive. It retains its colour well, it's easy to dry, perfect for beginners at drying. My number 4 on the list is dahlias. And who doesn't love dahlias in general? When they're fresh in bloom, they are absolutely gorgeous growing them. There are so many colours, so many varieties. You are spoilt for choice. However, they do dry as well. And this is some varieties of dahlias. So these are the varieties that I grew this year, dried. So they are not as vibrant as the fresh versions. If you think, a lot of my flowers were really bright pink. So the Caitlin's Joy, it's faded. This is, I would say that one is the American Dawn, which is really in bright pink. And look at where we are now. So it's muted. But they are still very evocative and quite classy to use in an arrangement. Have I got any in there? There's a few poking around in this one here. You don't need many of them. You could make a whole wreath out of them if you wanted. They are so productive. They are fantastic. However, and the reason why they're number 4, they are quite tricky to dry. They have got a lot of water in them when they're fresh. They've got the big heads, they've got big stems, so they take a lot of drying. So you have to hang them individually, which takes up a lot of space. And ideally, you want to dry them as quickly as possible to retain their colour. If they take too long to dry, you'll find that the joint of the stem, where the flower meets the stem, can get mould in it, and that then makes that joint weak, plus it's mouldy, so you don't want to use it. So there are drawbacks as far as how easy it is to dry. But if you've got space, it is certainly worth giving a go. All I do is hang them up individually. In fact, I open up a paper clip, put it through the stem and just hang it like that. Simple as that, lots of them individually. Whereas with the statice, we group a bunch together and then hang them up upside down. And the other advantage, of course, with dahlias is that they are effectively a perennial. So once you've got that tuber and you store it okay over winter so it doesn't die, then it keeps coming back year after year. All you have to do is plant it out. So dahlias are most definitely worth considering to dry if you're wanting dried flowers, along with if you want fresh flowers. They are a good all-rounder. Right, number 3 is billy buttons, or craspida. I think that's how you say it. And these are these. Again, that's what they grow like. So their colour and shape and size are exactly the same as if they're fresh. So again, from a growing and a drying perspective, there's nothing to them. So they're not as complicated to dry as the dahlias. You just bunch them up and hang them. In fact, I've got my paper clip. Hang them up in the ceiling like that and leave them. I would suspect that they will dry okay actually upright as well, because their stems are quite stiff, but nevertheless, that's how I've done them. And because the stems are quite thin, you can group quite a few of them together without it causing too much of a problem. They are, again, whilst they're so stiff, they do add something quirky and unique to a display. So I've got them here poking out, and they just add something kind of wonderful, I think, my opinion. So they're worth growing. These are apparently perennials. Now, I read that previous year, left them in the ground and they died. I assume because we had such a wet winter that they just rotted and it was in a poor place in the garden. So I tried again this year. Again, I left them in the ground, and it's only now that I look again at the instructions, whether those instructions have been updated, I don't know. But it says they're tender perennials. So I should have brought them inside into the greenhouse or somewhere sheltered to protect them a bit over winter. So I suspect I'm going to have no plants from last year going forward, so I'm starting again. So you can treat them like annuals, and they grow them each in new plants every year. I have found that they are not that they don't germinate, you just don't get as many as you expect. So the germination rate is kind of low-ish. So I have always resulted in far fewer plants than I was expecting. So bear that in mind, sow more than you think you need. They don't produce many flowers to a plant, so again, you need a lot to get a lot. So they are fantastic and easy, but just make sure you have enough plants. They're small plants, so you can cram in quite a lot into a small space. So you don't need to worry too much about that. Whereas something like the dahlia or even the statice, they take up quite a lot of space. So you don't need as many plants. These you probably do, but I think they're worth it, don't you? And second on my list are grasses, which I have examples of a load of varieties here. Now, some of the varieties I do grow. So we have, I think this is called sprinkles here, which is lovely. And something here like bunny tails. I can't seem to get long stems on my bunny tails, but they're lovely. Everything in this arrangement has pretty much been found from the hedgerows around my house. So when I take the dogs for a walk, I see some lovely seed heads and I just pick them. If you don't consider grasses to be a flower and you want something that are actually flowers and colourful that you dry, then I can highly recommend, this would be my alternative, would be zinnias. These are, I mean, just look at them, beautiful. I planted a variety last year and they have all dried pretty well. Let me just pull out a variety of them. So that queen limes, all sorts of varieties. So they dry well. They need a little bit extra care drying because I think they need their head supported. So I put them through a garden sieve actually. I place them, the stems through the holes in the sieve, and they just sit there balanced until they're dry. And that's worked out really well for me last year. So zinnias, fantastic. So they are a little bit more tricky to dry, but growing zinnias are easy, easy, easy. So my final staple in the dry flowered world is, and I think it's probably no surprise, straw flowers. These are absolutely fantastic. In a similar way to statice, they are classic dried flowers. You just seem to be able to get a lot more colour varieties now. So I've got a lot of pinks and whites, the odd orange and red. But you can get yellows, you can get purples, all sorts. They are very productive in their flowers, easy to grow. I struggled last year because I forgot that they need quite a bit of warmth to get them germinated, and I just left them in the greenhouse and it wasn't so warm. So I didn't get many germinated. However, that said, I still got lots of flowers out of them. And similarly to statice, you pretty much pick them, they are dried. I mean, that's not strictly true, but it's pretty much, it's as easy as that. So they are my top pick. They have such a good colour. They keep their colour. These are the colours they were when they were fresh. They are so easy to use in any arrangement. I used a lot of them over Christmas. So the statice and the straw flowers went in my Christmas wreaths, and they have still, we're into January now, I've still got my Christmas wreath up, and those flowers are still looking good. They haven't faded at all. They don't look the worse for wear from the frost and snow. So they are a real good doer in the dried flower world. Each of these flowers bring their own unique charm and aesthetic to any arrangement. So really it's about the type of thing that you want to make with your arrangements that would maybe dictate what you grow. But if you just want to try it out and get started, then these are definitely something that are worth taking a gamble on. They're pretty much fail-safes. You should be fine drying them without any problem. And a lot of them you can use fresh, most of them you can use in fresh bouquets as well. So they kill two birds with one stone. So you get to use them during the summer in fresh arrangements, and then you get to enjoy them again in the winter once they're dried. And here's the secret to preserving these gorgeous flowers. To maintain the colour, you need to dry them quickly, or as quickly as possible. So at the height of summer is best drying conditions because generally the airflow is warm and so they are going to dry quicker. The longer it takes, the more muted the colours come. Thinking more of your dahlias in that respect, and the others seem to stick whatever. But you want to keep them, dry them as quickly as you can in a warm, dark, dry space. And when you pick them at when they're at their peak. Most of them will dry in that condition and they don't open anymore. That said, straw flowers do open a bit more, so pick them when they are, if you pick them when they're blown, you will end up with flower heads that look like that one there. So that one was too open to start with, and so it's opened a little bit more in the drying process and blown. Now, to be honest, I don't mind that, and even you could use wire and use it from that angle. So I tend to cut them once a week and I get a variety of sizes, and then by the next week there's another fresh crop of flowers to be had. The earlier in the season you can pick them, the better, because then you're taking advantage of that warm summer weather. I found spring wasn't too bad. Spring going into summer dried things fairly well. Summer obviously was good, but once it got into autumn it just took that much longer to dry, and I threw away probably 50% of my dahlias this year because they went mouldy. So I don't want the same to happen to you. Make sure that you're drying them in a warm, dry space for as short a time as possible. So dried flowers let you capture the spirit of your garden and enjoy it year round. It's a bit of magic that anyone can achieve. So whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, these 5 flowers are foolproof options for drying and creating arrangements with. Why not give them a try this year? If you found this video helpful, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips and tricks on sustainable gardening and dried flowers. Let me know in the comments below which flower you're most excited to grow this year and dry. Until next time, happy gardening!